Alright, we are awake. And getting going. A few minutes later than I like to be, but I had stuff to do this morning. Alright, now that I have this set up, we're going to do a quick round and just see if there are any nodes up, because it's early in the morning. And if there are, cool, I'll take them back. This location, I found several titanium yesterday, but only one stravidium. Stuff from a dig dinner. I like. I've not. Yes, bean stuff. My brain's not working. I haven't had a coffee. Bean stuff from a big dinner is nice. Yep, the Hell Is Us demo was a lot of fun. Excellent. We're going to be having a lot of fun with that game here in a little bit. One thing I just realized is I'm probably going to need to build a storage chest so that I can get the goodies from here. Yeah. Because I bet it's going to be too heavy for me to grab from here. Yeah, this is going to take a hot minute. This stuff's so heavy anyway. I don't have a chest. That was something I didn't think about when I brought this over here. Was the fact that we're going to need to make a big ass chest so that I could transfer things from the buggy to the what am I looking for? Construction tool. I don't think I can make any chests, to be honest with you. I can only make this, which isn't really going to do anything. Because it's only 250. It won't even hold. Well, at the very least, I can go back and forth between this guy. I'm going to need to get the mouse and keyboard over here. Hang on. I got to do some rearrangement. Way quicker to do it this way. Definitely need to bring enough mats to build a big storage. Oh, is my assault thopter? Holy crap! That stuff is heavy. Oh my goodness. Can I carry that on my person? Not enough to make it worthwhile. Alright. Well, alright. That was really my secondary objective anyway for this weekend, so that's just icing on the cake. My primary focus is on getting these production facilities up and going. Alright. We can leave that alone for now. Big thing is to go down here and see if I am ready to go. For the next one of these. Which I am not. I need duraluminum. Okay. I think I need 2 more if I remember correctly. 2 more. And I will fully have replaced first things first. Get some filters. And then start producing duraluminum. And I need more aluminum. And more jasmium. Also, I probably need to make some more industrial grade lubricant, unless I've got some in storage. Which I think I do, considering there's some right there. Okay, I can store this Solido replicator here, because that's my base build. Doop, 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 doop. This will probably be the last day. Excuse me. I need to do any of the production here because I only need 2 more of these power stations and then we're good. I think from here on out it's going to be about tracking down spice blows, because I'm not going to have enough spice residue for long-term deployment. I don't think I have any water even to fill my liter John. 'Tis funny. Okay. Alright, let's wait in the shade. Oh, while I'm sitting here thinking about it, in order to make the big storage box, I would need 70 plastidium. And see, I don't think I want to do that because that's creating a thing where I have to make multiple trips to and from the deep desert to tear down my deep desert testing station. Testing station? Base, whatever. It's early. I don't want to have to do that. I want something that's simple and easy. It's probably going to be the aluminum storage container. What's up, Napier? Alright, 120, we're almost there. Alright, we can make this one. Okay. And then I'll place one more in the middle. Then I can turn them on. And then I will be done with that. Which was the only main thing that I was doing this weekend, was to get that done. Was to convert the entire base to one directionals. However, I now have to sort out my spice refinery situation. I do have some still stockpiled, but it's not going to last forever. I mean, I've got a couple of months, maybe 3 months of spice residue, but I'm gonna have to keep producing spice long term to stay ahead of the power demands of the base. Are you aware of video game attrition, Napier? This keyboard out of the way for now. Don't need that. Enlighten you, I shall. So video game attrition is the number of players that drop off of every game that play. Statistically speaking, 5% is about the total number of players who will continue to play a game long term after they have purchased the game. That's globally, statistically, over the last 30 years, around 5%. So for a game to lose up to 95% of its total sales over the course of 6 months, 8 months, a year, 3 months, whatever that might be, that is a total normal statistic. Totally normal. So looking at the Steam numbers right now, it peaked at 190,000 players 2 months ago, and it has a 24-hour peak of 28,000-ish. I'm rounding slightly. So that would be, that's over 10%. That's 20, let's do the math on that. 190,000 times 25%? No, that's too high. That's not 20%. Hang on. I can't do math out of the calculator. It's retaining 15% of its total player base as of today. That's an extremely high number compared to the global average for games, where 5% is the total number of people playing. So it is still retaining 15% of its total player base. That's exceptional. Exceptional numbers. 28,000 people playing in the last 28 hours. That's the peak concurrent. Remember, bear in mind, I'm only looking at concurrent numbers. We don't know what the total number of players are playing because that's just, I'm looking at SteamDB right now. So we don't know what the because this only shows concurrent. Here, let me open this up. So this is the peak of concurrent players. So I know, Hector, I know, right? Where's Lotro? Okay. This is a bad example. I was going to pull this, but I forgot that they have their own launcher. Because this is an old game, right? This is a very old game, but I forgot the vast majority of people playing Lotro play it through the launcher. So, what was the game? New World? All right. This is a better one to look at. We can actually do some math this morning. Because I'm pretty sure New World launched through Steam, right? Right? I think it was a Steam game. So according to Steam, now remember, New World Eternum is also available on the Xbox and the PS5 now as of last year. So these numbers are not representative of the total number of players. New World has a 10% Transcends, and yes, it was a Steam game. Copy that. So New World has a 10% retainment, which is above industry standard. And bear in mind, this does not reflect PS5 or Xbox numbers. So they started off with 900,000. They still have, not 10%. Sorry. My brain is not doing math this morning. This is like 1%. Sorry. Let me back that up here a second because I need more coffee. Blah, 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 blah. That's like a little over 1% of New World's player base on Steam on peak concurrence. Now we don't know what the Xbox and PlayStation numbers are. So if we assume there's another 10,000 players on each platform, you could assume there's 30,000 peak players in this game on a concurrent basis. And remember, game companies don't look at concurrence per se. They look at total monthlies because the total monthly is what you're really interested in. So if you wanted to have 5% of that number, you would want about 45,000 people playing your game every month. 45, 50,000 people playing every single month is that's your 5% target. Now, with in between, because remember, that's just concurrent. That's not total number of players playing per month. I think you have to go in here. I don't know how you calculate on SteamDB. Anyway, we don't know. Yeah, well, Dune didn't sell 1 million copies like New World did, so it's not realistic to expect Dune Awakening to have 50,000 players. That's not realistic because it didn't sell 1 million. It would need to have sold 1 million copies to realistically maintain an audience of 50,000 players. So for where it's at, Dune Awakening retaining 15% of its total sales several months after launch, they are in a very, very, very good position to continue to add content to the game, work towards their console release, and then see where they can go with console release, DLCs, and long term. I need more coffee after that. My brain is mathed out. That's right, Hector. Everything is dead. Dude, that post I made about Battlefield 6 is dead, which is a joke post. So I made that post 2 days before Beta Weekend 2 started. Beta Weekend 2 started, and that post spiked and got like another 2,000, 3,000 views in a day. And a whole bunch of people were clamoring on the post. You're so full of shit. There's 375,000 people playing right now. There's 380,000 people playing right now. There's four. And I'm like, does no one check the publication date of videos at all? Like, the video was published 2 or 3 days before the new Beta Weekend. So obviously we were making a joke. Obviously we were talking about. And I loved Blackthorn's comment. He's like, the fact that there is still like 3,000 people on the Steam charts means that 4 days after the beta weekend, there's still like 3,000 people who have the client open. There are some truly idiot people out there. Truly, truly idiots out there in the world. I think that's roughly centered. Yep. All right. Yes, smooth brains triggered. All right, let's load those up. Oh, we can just drop down over here. Let's load those up with power. God, I love the music in this game. All right, we don't quite have enough to get to 31 days, but I'm out of super lube. Dune Awakening should be cross-platform when it goes live. I would assume. The one thing that kills Conan Exiles is the fact that it's not cross-platform, but they were also dealing with technology that's 20 years old at this point. So my hope is that they are... Why did I jump up here? I don't need to be up here. My hope is that they are going to focus on... Alright, we're going to pause that. I need super lube. And while I'm doing that, I can go tear down these. You know what I ought to do? It'll be easier if I just move these. Oh, poodoo. I'm not going to be able to place them here. I can put them right here. This will be close enough. It'll be easier to tear them down here. It's too bad I can't take regular lube and turn it into super lube because I have such a surplus. And I don't know if it sells on the market for worth a damn. Because I don't know that I want to keep it stockpiled because I have so much regular lube. People might be calling me D-Diddy. Dune Diddy. My stockpile of lube. think that was the last one. I don't think I have one stuck around the corner, do I? Nope. Okay. Thanks for the cheers, Old Vulnerable Gamer and Napier. Appreciate it, guys. Alright, demo. Ah! Don't fall. That's right, super lube. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, this chest is like, it's all lube, and I don't need it anymore. Okay, how am I carrying too much? I've obviously got something on me that's taking it weight. Oh, it's the metal. Deposit. Yay, the power stayed on. That means I didn't fuck up on the math. Whew. Alright, we're good. I probably have a couple hundred excess now. I'll have to go check here really quick. No, I don't have a ton of excess. That was right on point. I have about 100 excess kilowatts. So that was right on point. And now instead of having to refuel my generators every 3 weeks, I can do it every 30. It's like every 31 to 32 days. I'm gonna sit here and wait a couple of minutes for the. It's got to generate more super lube. So probably what I need to do now is I just need to schedule every 2 weeks. I need to schedule a Dune Awakening session on like a Sunday, because I'm gonna have to come on and farm flower sand, spice, and I think that's it. Fuel cells, but fuel cells are easy to get. The flower sand and the spice are going to be the hardest to get. And it also depends, because if we have people out in the deep desert doing things, then that will have an excess of spice residue being farmed as well. Because I don't actually need the melange, I just need the residue at this point to keep the batteries on. So let me just say, if I logged on the 17th, I can do on the 31st. Dune Awakening farm session. What would I call that? It's not a farm session. It is a farm session. Base farming sesh. And that's a task which we put on the 21st, and we repeat it every 2 weeks. It's not weekly. How do I do custom? Repeat every 2 weeks. And save. What's up, Whiskey Dad? What's up, Tombs? Yes, JK, I'm doing maintenance. Dune Awakening base farm maintenance. So, I now have that scheduled in my Google Calendar, so every 2 weeks on Sundays will be my Dune Awakening session for the base maintenance. And then, obviously, whenever they drop story and DLC content, we'll be playing. Ailments like sciatica suck big time. I hurt yesterday because I went and finally did an actual workout routine the day before for the first time since I fell. Um, I went and did 3 sets of lunges along with my pull-ups, and that was day before yesterday. And then yesterday, all day, my injury site, which is inner thigh next to my left testicle, it's where I tore all the nerves and tendons and ligaments and everything with my fall. Oh my God, I did not feel very good yesterday. And my ankle was just very upset because where the tendon crosses, it's all messed up right now. It's partial sciatic and stuff. But then today, I'm feeling pretty good so far. And by the afternoon yesterday, Chris and I went for a walk down to the river in the afternoon, and I was a little sore, but not too bad. But yesterday morning during the stream, I was sitting here going, "Oh my God, I do not feel good. Did I over push?" And then by the time I got around to the afternoon, I was feeling better. So I think it was just a temporary body crying out and going, "What did you do, dude?" It's called I'm trying to push my injury. Yes, medical issues are another reason adulting sucks. See ya, Napier. Neanderthal says you're up early. You must be new here, Neanderthal. Is 30 days, 21 hours the max I can go for? It might be. Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah, we start every morning at, my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. Central Time, and we are live at 4:30 a.m. Central every single day. This is the day job, right? Like JK says, same thing we do every day, trying to take over the world. Alright, that must be the max that I'm allowed to craft. Or stockpile. So I have the maximum amount in my... It's 31 days, 0 hours. Okay, there we go. This is the day job, Neanderthal. Play lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of games. We start every morning at 4:30 a.m. We usually go till about... we usually go for about 6 hours. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Just depends on the day, what we're playing, how I'm feeling, all those things. And then throughout the afternoons, we do movie reviews, TV show reviews, game reviews, discussion videos, and more on the YouTube channel. Daily streams are on Twitch and YouTube, and there's a Homestead channel. There's also all the shorts on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter X. There's a Patreon page. I've got fantasy novels for sale. Got some video games that I've made. I've done tabletop. Got a 5th edition campaign for sale. I do lots of stuff. Dune is one of but many, many things that we do. Fill all containers. Okay, this is where I'm gonna have to check. Put this in the buggy for now. So, more than likely, the next objective for moi is to put together a Mark 6 ornithopter. That's probably not a today thing. But that's probably the next logical step. Because I will never be using an assault thopter in the deep desert, other than to go get my personal stuff. If I participate in any of the guild spice blows, I will take a scout thopter out there, which means I'll want to build a T6 scout thopter. I don't know that I want to do that today, though. Might save that for tomorrow. Oh, one thing I can do. Spice blow! Matter of fact, I probably can't see where it is at this point. It's probably already happened. don't have thrusters. Fuck. Alright, whatever. Somebody's probably already out there, but on the off chance they aren't, I'm gonna go try to grab that because I do need residue. As a PvE player, Old Venerable Gamer, I fucking love it. The PvP crybabies can shove it where the sun don't shine. I'm finally able to go out there and get plenty of tier 6 resources, and it is awesome. I built myself a deep desert base yesterday for the first time ever. I was completely ignoring the deep desert other than the testing stations on the A row and helping the guild with their deep desert stuff, but I haven't participated in any of the deep desert farming because I didn't want to go out there and deal with all the griefers, and now I don't have to because now I can go get tons of stuff all on my own, and it is amazing. What the... There might be somebody already down there grabbing the spice. That was one pissed off worm.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Hunker down, wait for the storm. Yeah, I think it's great. All of the griefers have pretty much moved on at this point because there's really no... Like, there's nothing to grief. Because those of us who only care about the PvE, and this is honestly... And it's them launching a game and going through the growing pains like every live service product out there. They had some stuff that they had written on paper that they wanted to work. It didn't all work exactly like they wanted to. But like I think if they had launched the Deep Desert the way it is right now, there wouldn't have been as many pressure points. But this is learning. You learn along the way. Where is that storm at? Oh, the storm has passed. We're good. My controller is vibrating like crazy right now, which means he is close. Alright, the controller stopped vibrating. That is the one nice thing about playing this game with a controller is like you can sort of, it gives you a little bit of a heads up when the worm is coming. There, he's over there. We'll see. I don't know if I want to risk getting this last tiny little bit. Nope, the controller's still vibrating like crazy. He's close. I don't know where. We're just gonna ignore the rest of that. I really only wanted to come out here for the residue. I don't need the melange. There he is. Oh no, that's another blow. Oh, hello. I will happily go grab that while I'm out here. God, that looks so cool. No, grab that spice. I might still be okay. Um, do it, lady. Do it. Like it's your birthday. I'm finished with the, as of like 20 minutes ago, we finished up with the base build stuff. I am now 100% running on directional turbines. And we've set our schedule for the next few months, which is going to be doing maintenance farming every 2 weeks on Sundays. I will log in and play Dune Awakening for a couple of hours to farm flower sand and spice on an as-needed basis to keep the base running. I have 800,000 credits, which means my taxes are good to go for a very long time. I have a deep desert base that I built yesterday, which is replicated with a Solido replicator. So I am good to go there if I want to go farm Plastinium and Stravidium. Yeah, I'm good to go. I mean, really, at this point, I'm going to burn up a couple of hours playing Dune Awakening this morning, and then we're going to switch over and probably play some Destiny 2. I do need to set a, well, I get head back to the base. I need to set a reminder on Google Calendar to go tear down my deep desert base on Monday night, because I will forget if I don't have it in the calendar. Yeah, it's going to be a bit, Lou. I'll probably do at least another hour here before I switch over, but if I need help, I will scream for you and Transcend to be like, I can't do it by myself. Help. You know what I don't have up top is a spice refiner. I have to go downstairs. You know what? I can move these now over since I put my repair up top. All right. See you, venerable. Sorry, venerable and vulnerable. I think they're these days. I feel both. All right, let's go do an aluminum run really quick. Oh, you know what though? Hold up. I have a bunch of stuff in the buggy that I need to take out. Probably put that. I'm really hoping the Fremen are the third faction. Because if the Fremen are the third faction, I will happily betray the Atreides and go full Fremen. And I hope they have a Fremen building set, and it lets us do cool things with building in caves and stuff. Because that would be dope. That would be dope. Oh, Neanderthal coming in with a $50 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for that, Neanderthal. I appreciate the support. 50 bucks. It's a big donation, sir. Thank you. Appreciate the dedication. Well, I appreciate the appreciation. Thank you very much for that. Oh, where did you guys come from?
Shield engaged.
Damn it.
You're dead.
Oh, it missed.
Raising shield.
Oh, something's not working here because it glitched out like 2 of my abilities.
It'll all be over soon.
Who are these guys? Holy fuck, man. Oh my god, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Who are these guys? Like, I've never faced guys that were such a pain in the ass to kill before. Like, they were resisting stuff, and then I had like a couple of... Like, they were like constantly draining my stamina. Crashed ship of some kind?
Reveal him here. Help! Help!
God damn.
Shield on.
Okay. Woo! Alright. Plus, I'm rusty as hell because I haven't done combat in forever. Ah! I survived! Barely. Buy the paid actor something pretty. I think all she cares about right now is getting a good night's sleep. The cats kept her up most of the night. She's not a happy person this morning. I woke up and every single one of the cats is outside. 3 of them were in the enclosure. She's in bed, and I went to go give her a kiss on the shoulder, and she literally just said, "Leave me alone. I didn't sleep last night. I'll talk to you later. I love you." And just pulled the covers up over her head. I think what I need to buy her is like a white noise machine so she can sleep at night. She needs to take a vacation is what she needs. Unfortunately, we can't take a vacation at the moment because of all the animals. It's kind of a catch-22 where we bought the property and have built the property up, but she has all the animals she ever wanted, everything she ever. But at the same time, when you have all the animals, you can't just leave. We've both been talking about, wouldn't it be nice to like go away for like 3 or 4 days, just take a nice little weekend vacation? It's like, yeah, but who's gonna watch the animals? That's our biggest stress factor right now. Is like, it's not even really a stress factor. It's just both of us would like to take a couple of days off, and we can't currently do that because we don't have anybody who can watch the place for us. Not that we don't have lots of family members around here, but nobody around here like knows how to take care of like ducks and chickens are easy. It's the cats that would be a problem for people because nobody around here, none of the family members or anybody knows how to like deal with cats because nobody here keeps cats for pets. Like cats in this part where we live, cats are nothing more than street animals. So no one understands cats as a pet concept. And also dogs. Like people don't understand dogs as pets. Most people here have dogs and they keep their dogs tied up on a rope their entire life, tied to a tree, and it's there to bark at strangers and to bark at iguanas and keep the iguanas out of the backyard. So the concept of animals as a pet that you take care of and you love and you cherish and you appreciate and you like, every time we get family members coming over, we get jokes that the pets eat better than Chris and I do, and it's like, they yeah. Fur babies, man. We don't have kids, so for us it's... So yeah, the challenge for us is we don't have people who can watch our animals. Bad enough with one pet? Yeah, we have many. grab these two and turn back around. Train the ducks to watch them. Well, that was like, Chris has been working hard. Day before yesterday was she butchered a duck and a chicken. That was like about 5 hours of her time because she has to boil the water, she has to butcher the animals, she has to put the animals in hot water, she has to pluck the animals, and then she has to prepare the carcass. So cuts it all up into pieces and sorry, puts it into a bag and puts it in the freezer, and that was 5-6 hours of her time the day before yesterday, and it's hard work, like, you know, if you've never plucked a chicken or plucked a duck before, I mean, that's a couple hours of manual labor. And she doesn't want to get a plucking machine. I've asked her if she just wants to get a machine. She's like, no, because she views it as like exercise. Like, why do I want a machine that's going to let me get fat and lazy when I can just do it by hand? And it's like going to the gym. And fair enough. I mean, that's... My wife is not afraid to work. I'm gonna need to repair the wheels on this thing. Yes, hitting the jackpot on spouses is a big deal. Exactly, Lou. Suspicious one of the neighbors owns a cat that is outdoors at the time. Owner shows a little consideration. Not allowed inside my family's apartment when the neighbor goes on vacation. Left outside for several days without food. Yeah, that's pretty much what most people around here. They say that they have a cat. They don't actually have a cat. What they have is a stray that they feed occasionally, and it shows up at their place frequently looking for food, but it also frequents several other places looking for food. But they call it their own, but they don't take care of it. The worst to me are the people who have a dog and they leave it chained up or tied up to a rope. That is one of the most hideous things to me, is someone who will have an animal that they leave chained up 24/7. That really grinds my gears, as they would say. We were actually on a walk the other day and we saw this family, and they were outside with their kids, and they had a puppy, probably a 7-8 month old puppy that was outside with the kids, and it had that blue or purple spray that the vets put on for bacteria and stuff, and it had around its neck, you could tell it had basically had a rope burn that had burned through all the way through its fur and got to the skin, and then it had started to eat through the skin and had caused this huge ring all the way around its neck that the vet had to put spray all the way around. And it's because those fuckers had this puppy on a rope that was tied, and it outgrew the rope, and it sat there choking every single day, and like the rope is just rubbing away at the fur and taking all the fur off and taking all the skin off, and they never fucking took it to the vet until it was like almost dying. And then they take it to the vet and they're like, fix it. And it's like, those people, if I I can't say on stream what I would like to do to those people because I would get in trouble for saying that. But those types of people, let's just say I would love to do the same thing to those people that they do to their animals. That'd be the easiest way to say it. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Like, just, there are certain people in this world who are not fit to own animals or to have animal companions. It's just, there is zero, there's nothing going on up here. There's nothing going on up here with those people. Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing going on up there. It is, no. No! I mean, this right here is a rescue cat. If I can show her, she's in her little bed right there. That is Snow White, who is a rescue cat, who showed up on our doorstep like 2 years ago. Just pure skin and bones, and she was an abandoned cat. One of the neighbors had moved, and she was a street cat who came to the door looking for food. And so she had never, and she had had a litter of kittens, and they left, and they just abandoned her. And she showed up at our place, skin and bones. And at the time, we were like, no, we can't. We already have, we had 7 or 8 cats at the time. It's like, we can't have any more. And so we literally, pushed her away with a broom, sprayed her with water. We were like, get out of here. Go on. Get out of here. And she kept coming back 3 nights in a row. And I finally took pity and went and put food across the street on the street corner. And I was like, whatever, have some food over there. And then she disappeared for 3 days. And we were like, crisis averted. Then she came back a few days later with a massive open abscess wound on her back. Like a 1.5 inch round open wound and a big knot. And we don't know exactly what happened, but we assume that somebody hit her or she got hit by a car. Who knows what happened, but she had something had hit her and opened up a wound. And what Chris theorizes is that she went back to the home that had been abandoned and there were new tenants living there, and somebody took a stick and just whapped her across the back while she was sleeping or something. Anyway, when she came back with the open wound, I was like, I have to take this cat, Chris. And Chris reluctantly agreed. And then we have Snow White. And then she, to this day, none of our, Dora, the mama cat, tolerates her and they play a little bit. Leia tolerates her and they play a little bit. Lucas sometimes will tolerate her, but Lucas will also beat up on her from time to time. But Frodo and Smeagol, even after 2 years, they still try to beat the shit out of her if they see her. So we have to try to keep her separated, which is another, just a headache for us, because it's a constant balance of where's Blanca and where is Frodo and Smeagol, because we constantly have to be aware of where those cats are, because if they don't, they've gotten into multiple cat fights. She'll scratch their faces, they scratch her faces, and it's like, I don't need another expensive vet bill. Yeah, people are nasty. Yeah, people will do crazy stuff like that. They'll throw hot oil on a cat, they'll throw hot oil on a dog, they'll throw boiling water at it. People are just nasty. And I have no sympathy for people who mistreat animals at all. Alright, that is refining everything we can. We'll get some more silicone going. Right, JK, so a good example of this is, so my brother runs a ranch. By the way, I put we do daily videos for their ranch page, and I put those in our Discord every single day. So for those of you who want to follow along with ranch stuff, they have a cattle ranch, but they also have a boatload of ducks and chickens and horses. And my brother does. We do daily updates from the ranch and talks about all sorts of things. And recently, as an example, he went and bought some horses from Wyoming, brought them back. They were training them. One of them wasn't mixing well with the existing horses, got kicked in the leg. That swelled up. They had to fix that. And then another one got a cut on its eye. And you have to take care of that. You have to take it to the vet. Um, they've got goats. They've got, all sorts of stuff. And even though he raises cattle for slaughter, like they take care of the animals, not just from a purely like it's a business, it's your product, you have to take care of your product. But like all of the kids have pets. Pets do not get killed, right? Pets are pets. So um like they have pet goats, they have pet chickens, they have pet and those are the ones that don't like and like my sister-in-law is huge. She's a duck fanatic. She's got a ton of ducks and like some of the ducks have names. The ducks with names get treated differently than the other ducks. But even the other ducks are treated well. But it's like, it's, you know, having empathy extends to having empathy for animals as well as other human beings. And if you can't have empathy for, and I think there's a say, isn't there a saying like you could tell the type of person someone is by the way they treat a cat, or is it the way they treat a dog, or is it the way they treat animals? There's a saying out there. I'm not intimately familiar with it, but it's something along the lines: if you could tell the type of person someone is by the way they treat animals, um, I think that's a legitimate. In my mind, that's a legitimate thing. Like, oh, people who move and abandon their animals, JK. Ugh. Yeah, we had when we first moved in. We had across the street from us, and there's a very nice lady that lives there now. She's actually another American who she's the only other white person in our town actually, and she's here. She's part of the church, so she came down on like a missionary thing, and she's been here for about 2 years. She's just stayed with it, and I guess Chris knows her kind of well because she goes to church there every Sunday, and she actually has gone around and she was in Oaxaca for a couple of years, and then somewhere else for a couple of years, and then she's been here for a couple of years. But anyway, before she moved in, the people right across the street from us had two dogs that were literally lived their lives tied up on a rope in their backyard. So the first 6 months we were here, that's all those dogs did was just bark all day and all night. That's it. And it was really annoying, and I felt really bad for them because the dogs literally lived on like a 6 foot length of rope tied to a tree. And both dogs were tied to different trees. And they just lived literally the entire 6 months that we had when we first they never those dogs never got released ever. They lived their lives on a rope. The owners moved. They were renters. They were the dog's owners but rented the building. They moved and they abandoned the dogs. We watched them packing up all their stuff while the dogs are out in the backyard, tied up. The next morning, Chris and I wake up. The dogs are suddenly free, the owners are gone, and the dogs are roaming the street doing circles around the house trying to get back into the backyard. And they can't get back in because there's nowhere for them to get. So the owners literally took the ropes off of them, let them loose on the street, and drove off without them. And I was like, holy shit. I don't think I've ever personally witnessed like that happen in real time, right? And I was livid, livid because it was like July or August or something, so it's super hot outside, and those dogs are like, you know, looking for water, looking for food. They've never been outside of that yard their whole lives. They've never been off the leash before. They've just been living on ropes, and now they've been abandoned, and who knows what happened to them, you know? People suck. And unfortunately, we're not in a position that we could take dogs or any more animals for that matter. We literally had to tell my sister-in-law, stop bringing animals, please, because we have no space. She has brought us like multiple animals because she'll her backyard is small and she'll start to get too many baby chickens or baby ducks and she'll just give them to Chris, and it's like we have 25 adult ducks running around our backyard. We have 15 new baby ducklings. We've got like a dozen chickens, 6 cats. Like there's no more space. Like literally when Chris goes out in the backyard, I haven't done a video for the homestead in a while. I probably should. The backyard is just animals. Like it's just a sea of ducks and chickens. There's no more space for anything else. And Chris finally started 2 days ago. She finally started culling the herd. But she had to tell her sister, like we went out and had breakfast. I think last Sunday we went out there and had breakfast with the family. And her sister wanted to give us like more chicks, and it's like no more animals. Like no. And this is Chris now. That's why we went and drove around with her other sister a couple weeks back looking at farm property to like buy a piece of farm property because we would both like to have more animals, but we can't have more animals here. We need something that has a pond and space if we're gonna have like more ducks, and I'd like to have a couple of goats, or sheep for goat milk or sheep milk, make cheese. That'll be the next evolution of what I do on the internet, is going to be the homestead channel. As it gets bigger, that'll probably be where I spend my twilight years of retirement. Will be puttering around a homestead, garden, animals, writing science fiction and fantasy, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Dude, Muscovy ducks eat everything, JK. I spent 3 years cultivating a very beautiful backyard, and it is gone. I have no grass in my backyard. There's no flowers. Our garden has been decimated. Those Muscovy ducks eat everything. They're way more destructive than chickens. So yeah, I don't have a pretty backyard anymore. And I just got over it. I had to get over it because it was like, well, at the very least, I have delicious eggs every morning, and I have fresh meat. And all the yard did for me was look pretty. And it's not that big of a deal because I spend 90% of my time in my office. So it was like, it was just nice to go out my backyard with a cup of coffee and sit down, smoke a spliff, enjoy the beauty of my garden. And now I go out and sit down and it's like, it smells like duck shit. But I get delicious eggs every morning and delicious fresh chicken and fresh ducks. And they do live very nice lives. They get fed very well. They're hand fed. And Chris was like, I was talking to her about it. Like I have a hard time doing the act when it comes time to take care of butchering an animal. It's difficult for me. And she is the person who handles that most of the time. But even she had a hard time with the duck the other day because they're way more sweethearts than chickens. And she spent several minutes. She was holding it, caressing it, and basically just being very gentle with it, and it's like kind of like you trying to hypnotize it, and then that was it's very quick. One bad day is the way to look at it. They have a great life and then they have one bad day, which is like me. I have a great life and then I'm gonna have one bad day, and that's all she wrote. Santa's salad? The devil's lettuce? What? Surely not. Do I need to do anything else today? If I don't need to do anything else, I'm going to go play Destiny 2. I'm trying to think. I finished... We've built the power stations. I've got 30 days of power going. I've got flour sand producing. I've got spice residue stocked up. I've got my filters going to replenish the water. I did an aluminum run. Yeah, that's where we're at, Whiskey Dad. Chris just took care of one of the chickens that had stopped laying eggs. And the meat won't be that good because she's an older chicken. She's about 3 years old, but she just hasn't produced an egg in like 3 months. And it's like, well, if you're just eating food and not producing eggs, you're no longer a productive member of chicken society. So you will become soup. But she won't. She won't be a tasty chicken. That literally, those chickens get literally become soup because they're old and stringy and they're not good for tacos or anything like that. Goat cheese. So goat cheese and so Chris loves goat milk. It's creamier. It's got a flavor to it. It's definitely a. Not everyone likes goat milk. It's a flavor. It's a strong flavor. Um, and goat cheese is a very stronger flavored cheese. But if you like those things, sheep cheese and sheep milk is much mild. It's milder. I always look at sheep milk is like cow's milk, but thicker and richer. It's like a creamier version of cow's milk. And so sheep milk and sheep cheese is very delicious. Goat milk and goat cheese, yeah, it's tangier. It's got a wang to it. So if you like a little wang, it's pretty good. Let's pull this granite out. Wang wang with your tang tang. Cheese toasties, crackers. I'm a big fan of goat cheese. Period. Yeah, like Lou says, goat cheese with cranberry and nuts is delicious. I will. Yeah, goat cheese with fruits, nuts. Goat cheese with like, especially like toasted goat cheese. So if you make like this is something I learned when I was in Bulgaria. Actually, you could take like a block or a roll of goat cheese, drizzle honey on top of it, nuts, just a sprinkle of salt. Put that in the oven and bake it for like 30 minutes. And it will crust the top of the cheese with the honey and nuts. And you pull it out of the oven, and then you just take a spoon and you can like eat it direct, or you can like put it on toast or put it on crackers. Dude, dude. You could also do it with a block of feta. You don't need to add the salt in that case, but take a block of feta cheese, um, pull it out of the brine, stick it on, drizzle, just cover it in honey and nuts, and stick it in the oven. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm rumbling right now. My tummy's rumbling. I think Chris is up. Let me check really quick. Oh, the mukbang is probably a couple hours out. All right, Chris is up. I have a little bit more coffee. I'm trying to think if I need to do anything else in Dune Awakening. I think at this point I could just. I think I'm done for the day. Um, which means we can go play Dune Awake. We can go play Destiny 2. I don't think. I'm not going to refine anything yet because I need water production. And I've got lube. And that going. I do need to build a tier 6 ornithopter. But it's not a high priority thing because I still have my tier 5 one right here. So it's not a priority to get a tier 6 ornithopter made. I do need to refill the water. Because I did haul back some T6 materials which I need to refine, but I can't refine until I get the water done. So I think we're going to wrap the Dune Awakening section of the stream this morning, everybody. I'm going to switch over to Destiny 2. So if you're on Twitch, just hang out for about 10 minutes. If you're on YouTube, you'll need to refresh the page. I'll have links up on social media and Discord here in a few minutes. And I might do some more Dune Awakening tomorrow morning for a couple of hours just because I want to come on and make sure I get everything refined, refill all the water supplies. We'll probably come back and do a couple more hours tomorrow, first thing in the morning, and then we'll be done with our current Dune Awakening because I think most people have gotten their drops by this point. We've seen, like, I think the first day we had like 150 people on Twitch, and now we're down to 30 people on Twitch. So I think most of the people that watch my Dune Awakening stuff have gotten their drops and have moved on. So we'll do a little bit tomorrow morning for maintenance, and then we've got other games to play before we get to Gears of War Reloaded on the 26th. So still working on Tales of the Shire, um, Knights of the Old Republic. We're gonna get back into Destiny 2 and hopefully get past that boss today because I want to keep working on the campaigns for that.